Big shout out to everyone watching. It's Jrod on point. I'm very happy to be here in this morning. Thank you so much for everyone watching. Very so much appreciated. I'm the host of the most, the Ting of the Tango, the Yin to the Django, Jrod on point. I'm very happy to be here. Very favorite, very gracious to be here today with Jack. Everybody's going to be watching on the replay. Everybody's going to be watching as we speak right now live. My name is Jrod Point. Make sure to please click like, subscribe, and share. Share, share the content. Just share the content for your boy one time. Make sure that y'all show some love to the channel. It's very appreciated. Every time you share, I'm gonna pop up and show love to you on your post. Very so much appreciated. Thank you everyone for being here today. We're gonna be talking about the Idaho Fall Bryan Kohberger case. Moscow PD sloppy work. Yeah. Moscow PD sloppy work. That's today's title for the live stream. Today's live stream is dedicated to Kathy from the IndieZoNe podcast. Big shout out, much appreciation to Kathy. I want everybody to go and subscribe to her. We have her channel ping on top of the chat. So make sure everyone go and subscribe to Kathy and the IndieZoNe. And please, we got a poll on top. We also got a poll on top. It says, are you subscribed to Jrod on Point yet? Question mark. We got 25 votes so far. 88% say yes. 12% say no. Hopefully that 12% end up subscribing, entering the chat, having great conversation with your boy Jrod on Point. And today it's gonna be very, very interesting, ladies and gents. I think this was a live stream that it was long overdue. Could you see about me when I appreciate when I appreciate content creators, when I listen to the content creator or fellow content creators on the true crime niche, it's a few content creators that I do very much appreciate everything that they do for the true crime community. Today, the reason why we're dedicating our live stream to Kathy from the IndieZoNe is because there's such a great work that she's putting out here in the true crime community. Her analysis, her unbiased, like her and the way she break it down is very so much appreciated. So our way to appreciate Kathy and the IndieZoNe is sharing a little bit of her content. Sharing a little bit of her content. It's only fair for us, the content creators, when you know, when you appreciate content from fellow content creators, it's only fair to, you know what I mean, give them a little shout out, give them a little promo, you know what I'm saying, and have conversations about the topic that she got going on. I want to say that after the sentencing hearing of Bryan Kohberger, by the time Moscow PD started releasing their documents, I think that a lot of people could agree that it's not looking good at all. It is really not looking good at all for the prosecution. I mean, I know it's case closed and all that, but again, it's in my opinion, it's reasons to appeal. In my opinion, so far up to this day today, and after listening to Kathy, is quite a few videos that I have not watched yet. So I wanna have a proper analysis about it now that I have the opportunity. I want to review her content, her latest content. I want to review it. I want to give my opinion, my assessment about it. It's very short videos, very digestible, very compact, but very informative. So I think it's fair to share a little bit of her content with y'all, with our commentary, fair use, and hopefully we do justice to such a great content that Kathy and the IndieZoNe have. So without further ado, someone that don't need no introduction, because at this day today, in the short time that she's been in the community, if you ask me, she has become a staple and a pillar in the true crime community. Please, let's give a round of applause to Kathy in the IndieZoNe. Let's listen to her.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the IndieZoNe. My name is Kathy. We are continuing to evaluate documents that were recently released by the city of Moscow, Idaho, from the Moscow Police Department's investigatory files, never before seen by the public. And today we're going to be looking at a report from Dustin Blacker. He is a sergeant, or he was at the time. He is now a captain. This report was dated January 4th, 2023, and it documents the transportation of a DNA profile from Idaho to Othram Labs in Texas. And I'll leave you to review what this document says. But what I want to zero in on at this time, because the issue of the sheath where this DNA was found, that the state of Idaho contended was Mr. Kohberger's, was found on the bed on the third floor in Madison Mogen's room. According to Detective Brett Payne, the lead detective on the case, he describes that after he and Sergeant Blacker arrived on scene at approximately 4:00 p.m. on November 13th, 20.
Sorry, it was muted. But Brett Payne got to the crime scene at 4 p.m., right? So that's like what? That's 4 hours, like straight 4 hours after the 911 call. So if you ask me, where was the urgency? Again, this is such a awful, terrible crime, which I believe, in my opinion, that he would have got a personal phone call on his phone to keep radio silence. I believe that he could have got a phone call stipulating the gravity of the crime scene and how bad it was. Where was the urgency to get to a crime scene where 4 young adults were slaughtered to death in the University of Idaho campus close by? Students from the University of Idaho. It's a residence that is known to be a sorority house under the umbrella of the Greek community. So if this place it has such a protection due to the powers to be, Where was the urgency from Moscow PD to get there? So you're gonna tell me that we could have state police, FBI, and everyone on scene, but the detective that's supposed to take charge, the detective numero uno, Brett Payne, was nowhere to be found, which indicates in this document that Brett Payne got to the location at 4 p.m. I repeat, where was the urgency to get to 1122 Queens Road? Y'all keep calling it Kings Road and stuff like that. Yeah, it's weird. It's a type of brainwash that I never seen before, but it's weird how even the authorities call it 1122 Kings Road. Are you serious? Obviously, the driveway is on Queens Road. Even the cops and body cam footage call it Queen Street. So again, even court documents and everybody else, the media, YouTube content creators, and a whole bunch of other goofies keep calling it 1122 Kings Road. I don't get how in court someone is gonna confess or take charge of such a type of crime, and you're gonna tell me that the address where the crime allegedly was committed, it has an error, because it's a comprehensive error on the address and stipulated in the court documents, that if you go by reality where the house is located, where the driveway is located and looking towards, is Queens Road. It's actually like good 25, 30, almost 40 feet away from King Road. So if the driveway of the residence is on Queens Road, and cops calls the resident on body cam footage 1122 Queens Road, how in the heck in court you gonna blame me for killing people in an address where the house where was located the crime scene is not the address on the paperwork? It's not. I don't care what you want to call it. I don't care what you think. Use your common sense. Common sense tells you that if the driveway of these residents is on Queens Road and cops call the address of that residence 1122 Queens Road, how can you make me plead guilty or accept a deal of committing a crime at a location, at an address where is no crime scene on that address? Is it me? Is it me? I want people to make it make sense. How can anyone in court could take a deal, a guilty plea of a crime committed in 1122 Kings Road when the crime was committed in 1122 Queens Road? That's an error that it was there since day one. And if you ask me, that's those type of errors they should be considered as core errors for an appeal. Because you cannot convict me or give me a deal of me committing a crime in a 1122 Kings Road when the where the address of the actual location is 1122 Queens Road. It does not make sense, that type of brainwash, that you even gonna put the wrong address in court paperwork and is not considered a court error. Let's continue.
2022, that it was first responder Corbin Smith, Officer Smith, who escorted him personally. I'm speaking.
Y'all remember that wacko cuckoo lady that said that she talked to Smith? Let me cut it out.
Of Detective Brett Payne through the property, including up to the 3rd floor. And there was always something that was a little confusing, in my opinion, not only to myself, but other people, as to Detective Payne's statement to the effect that later he noticed that the sheath was visible from the doorway on the bed. And there was a
Oh, thank you, Joanne. I appreciate. You know, I'm a chop it up. I'm chop it up for the editing. How come the Brett Payne get to see the sheath later on, when he say that he could see it from the hallway? So at this time and point, we don't know how many times he went to that room and didn't see nothing. Big shout out to Joanne. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. When you say that later on, I also later noticed there appear to be a tan leather knife sheath laying on the bed next to Morgan's right side. How you didn't see it right away? How can you later on see the sheath? So my question to you, Brett Payne, how many times you went inside of that room and didn't see no sheath? Because we have it right here. I'm reading it as I'm talking to you. Goncalves and Morgan were deceased with visible stab wounds. Stab wounds. Listen, if you see a body chopped up, if you see a body chopped up and disfigured, I cannot cut you. I cannot give you a pass of you don't have no experience of not knowing how to fill up paperwork and how to give a proper picture on paper of what you're seeing in the crime scene. Because obviously, due to the forensics, the little bit of forensics that we know at this day today about the victims, at least about Maddie Morgan and Kelly Goncalves, rest in peace. What we do know for a fact that they got away with them. They sloppy. They. You call that stabbing? Or you call that purposely? You purposely wrote a stab because it was already spoke about the placing of the sheath. So to utilize the sheath, you have to say stabbing instead of saying slash to death. One thing is stabbing someone. Another thing is slashing and disfigurating their body. Post-mortem disfiguration. And you call that stabbing, Brett Payne? Or it was convenient to say the disease, there were disease with visible stab wounds. Visible stab wounds. When we got the reports from Steve Goncalves of how bad Kaylee's face was, disfigured. And the great question is, who found the sheath? Brett Payne? No one else went inside of that room? Or right away, right after the crime happened, y'all knew who the fuck did it. And this is your smart way to fabricate? You needed a piece in the puzzle that you could just say, we have DNA somewhere that you might not have it. Didn't ya ran that DNA and it came inconclusive. That's why you have to do all that stuff about sending it to Texas, and Yari send the chief, ya send a piece of cotton swab. But if you ask me, you had to cut and swap the sheath already when you ran it the first time. So when you ran it the first time, microscopical particles of DNA, when you swap it once, I think we already know that it's gone, whatever was there. But you had it all. You don't need much. You don't need much, right? You don't need much, because that's what experts say. Oh, we don't need much DNA. But if you already have microparticles of DNA, we already be knowing that when you swap it once, it's gone. You have one shot. If it's truth, whatever y'all talk about, y'all have one shot to get anything out of that sheath. And you tell me that he was right next to Maddie Morgan. So if he was next to Maddie Morgan, that sheath was supposed to be in the pool of blood, because he was right next to Maddie Morgan, right? So if he was right next to Maddie Morgan, it was supposed to be covered in blood, a pool of blood. I repeat, a pool of blood. If you found the sheep next to Maddie Morgan, that sheep was soaking in blood. How you gonna get blood mixed with other blood out of a button of a sheep that is deep in blood? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Actually, make it make sense that it's gonna be DNA particles on the bottom of the knife sheath when obviously, Bryan Kohberger, right, went with gloves. So you know what? Here's what happened when let's say you snap the button with your finger, right? You snap the button with your finger, right? And guess what? When you snap the button again with gloves on, whatever DNA was there is gone. Because when you open it again, okay, when you open it again, the fabric that you have on your glove will take that DNA off of it. Oh, so you're gonna tell me when Bryan Kohberger opened the sheet, right? He clicked the button to open the sheet to kill the victims, right? Are you gonna tell me the DNA was still there after he did the same thing with fabric on his hands that literally just gonna wipe it off? Just make it make sense before you talk to me. Just make it make sense. And we very much appreciate Kathy from the IndieZoNe for bringing this great information for us to talk about. Big shout outs to Kathy and the IndieZoNe. Thank you so much.
Question as to how was the sheath found? Who found the sheath? Was it someone from Moscow Police Department, when you consider that there were several law enforcement officials from Moscow Police Department? They were, of course, the first responding agency who had jurisdiction over this matter because 1122 King Road was located in Moscow.
for what we hear, how can you even tell me that 7 hours? Hold on. I gotta change the battery, man. Shit crazy. And then it's so complicated, those fucking alarms that you need the maintenance guy to come and do it. It's crazy. But anyway, you're gonna tell me that as an officer, you're gonna sit there as soon as you get to the crime scene after 15 hours, literally, as an officer, you take literally, you understand that it's 14 to 15 hours all the way from the approximate time of death all the way until you actually got enter to the crime scene. Is 14 to 15 hours that everything and anything could have happened. But you're gonna tell me that y'all gonna believe the story of Dylan Mortensen and company, and y'all didn't put him in handcuffs? Big shout out to Kathleen. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Kathleen, big shout outs to you. I think it's only you and Joanne here today. Big shout out. Big shout out to y'all. Thank you for being here. We got 22 people watching right now. Everybody quiet, hate watching. It's all good, man. Listen, at least you watching. I'd rather you the hate watch than not watch at all. Shit, if you here, I'm doing my job. Big shout out to Kathleen. Thank you so much for being here. Very appreciate it. I've been going through the mute thing. I have had it mute like two to three times already. I'll chop it up and I fix it before I put it out. But no one is gonna tell me, right, that Brett Payne is certified getting there by 4 p.m. You are not gonna tell me they're having local FBI, sheriff, and state police already on the scene. You're not gonna tell me that they waited for the dumbass Brett Payne to get there with no fucking experience. You're gonna tell me that a whole bunch of ranked officers, detective from the sheriff, state police, and sheriff, you're gonna tell me that they stand back until Moscow PD, the bottom of the barrel of law enforcement agency in that locality, Moscow PD, the bottom of the barrel, because he's Moscow PD, is sheriff, state police, or actually state police, sheriff, and then FBI. Moscow PD is the bottom of the barrel. And you're gonna tell me agencies that it has the pizzazz, that has the experience, that it has the ways to get this done ASAP fast? You're gonna tell me that everyone stand back waiting for Moscow PD? They obviously don't even want to get there. They obviously, if you ask me, they could say whatever they want to say. If you ask me, they was in a meeting with Scott Green. If you ask me in my personal opinion, all that other shit that they could talk about wherever they was, fuck that shit. If you ask me in my personal opinion, Chief Fry, Brett Payne, and all these other motherfuckers were in a fucking meeting with Scott Green doing damage control, telling them how they're gonna handle this shit. Instead of cops, remember, Moscow PD got contracts with the University of Idaho. The University of Idaho cut checks to Moscow PD. That's a fact. That's a fact. The Moscow PD got contracts with the University of Idaho. And they get a big old check out of the University of Idaho. That's a fact. And you're gonna tell me that your boss not gonna stop you because that's his students, and that possibly other students killed those students, but your boss is gonna sit you down because he cut your check, right? He cut your check. Scott Green cut your check, right? So you're gonna sit there. You're gonna sit there and listen to Scott Green telling you how you're gonna handle this shit. The question is, how the fuck Scott Green got the power to not let FBI, state police, and the sheriff take charge of this investigation, which is higher law enforcement agencies? But you give it to Moscow PD? How the fuck? When the state police come through, Moscow PD got to sit back down. For a fact, State Patrol, way higher rank than Moscow PD. When state troopers come, Moscow PD need to stand down. How the fuck the state troopers didn't took over that case? How the sheriff didn't took over that case? But you let Moscow PD, the bottom of the barrel, handle the investigation? How? Make it make sense. Let's continue. Big shout out to Kathy.
So the question was it possibly Officer Nunez, who was a first responding officer? Was it Officer Smith, who was a first responding officer? Could it have been Officer Warner? Could it have been Sergeant Gunderson? All of them stated in different reports that we have seen that they were on property. They were on site. They went up to the third floor at some point within the first few minutes after the Moscow Police Department arrived on scene. We now know conclusively who found the sheath by looking at this report of Captain Blacker. It says here, paragraph 2, after getting evidence checked into the lab, I signed for a DNA profile which had been generated by the Idaho State Police Forensic Lab. This DNA profile was collected from a sheath which was found by Idaho State Police investigators from District 2 during the initial search of 1122 King Road on November 13th.
King Road again.
The sheath had been transported to the lab by ISP, Idaho State Police troopers. We now know conclusively who found the sheath. It wasn't any of the initial responding officers from the city of Moscow. It wasn't until after ISP arrived, the Idaho State Police arrived, and apparently, according to Sergeant Blacker, it was representatives from the Idaho State Police who found this sheath.
Yeah, big shout out to Kathy in the IndieZoNe with the great information. Kate Flynn said, I'm so pissed off about this case. Yeah, this case, listen, Kate Flynn, is like when someone is playing with your intellect. It's like when someone is playing with your intelligence. When someone tells you something that is on the route to, oh, this makes sense. No, it does not make sense. That's this. Here's something that the humans need to recognize. And this is something that as soon as human could recognize this, y'all will stop lying. And I've been telling you this from the very beginning of my beginnings here in YouTube True Crime. I've been telling you, we are all humans. We are all humans. It don't matter if you're black, white, Japanese, Lebanese, Puerto Rican, Mexican. It don't matter your race. We are all humans. That means that if me and you are speaking the same language, guess what? I'm gonna know when you're lying to me. Everyone, every human around the world, when someone tell them something that is a lie or don't make sense, we all gonna catch it. I'm gonna tell you right now, we are all gonna catch it. It don't matter if the lie comes from Donald Trump. It don't matter if the lie comes from the Pope. It don't matter if the lie comes from your favorite artist. It don't matter if the lie the lies come from your favorite family member. You know, and you feel it in your gut when someone is trying to play you out. When something don't make sense. Listen, I have not met one person yet. I have not met one person yet that has told me a lie, and right there and then, as they saying what they saying, I know they lying. If you ask me, every human that has seen themselves forced to amplify your senses, to amplify your understanding, to amplify your awareness, you'll know when people is lying to you, because your life depend on you picking on those liars. When you see yourself that for you to live and survive, you need to recognize who's lying to you. Believe me, you know when someone is lying to you right away. You could look at them in the eye and you know, like, yeah, it is something there that is not right. So I want you to understand, it don't matter. This is said by Moscow PD, state police, FBI. None of this shit and the way they put it together is all wrong. The chain of custody. The chain of custody. This is why I told ya that y'all not gonna make me believe that Brett Payne got there by 4 p.m. and having state police, sheriff, state police, and I said that way before I heard this. And I told ya, it don't matter if Brett Payne got there by 5 p.m. You already haven't seen FBI, state police, and sheriff on spot detective, because they all are listening to the scanners. You get that? So if Brett Payne get there at 4 o'clock, it's 4 hours of work that the state police, sheriff, and everybody else been putting on by the time Brett Payne get there. So again, why Brett Payne took over this case when you already have state police detective running a deep investigation on this case? Explain that to yourself, because I already know the explanation of it. I already know the explanations of it. But what about you start trying to make it make sense for yourself that how come if you have state police already there, state troopers, detective already in the scene, by the time Brett Payne get there at 4 p.m. How the fuck Moscow PD took over this case when they are the bottom of the barrel? They underneath state police. They don't have the research. They don't have the experience. They don't have the personnel. They don't have the technology that the state police has. Especially when you have FBI already in the scene. What better is than the state troopers and the FBI handling this case way better than Moscow PD. But you give it to Moscow PD and Brett Payne? Why? Why? Because you knew that they are under the umbrella of the University of Idaho, because they get paid by the University of Idaho. We all know this. We all know this. This is public record. Moscow PD is under the umbrella of the University of Idaho. They get big $1 million, multi-million dollars on contracts from the University of Idaho. How the fuck you have the University of Idaho investigating itself? This is what I've been telling you from the very beginning. How you gonna have the killers investigating the fucking killers? If this massacre happened by the hands of students of the University of Idaho, do you think the Moscow PD would have put them on blast? Why you think the DNA of those fucking killers
was such an important piece of evidence in this case? If you have any comments or questions, please leave them here. And if you have not already subscribed to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it that you do so.
Big shout out to Kathy from the IndieZoNe. She does amazing work, though. I want everybody to go and subscribe to Kathy from the IndieZoNe, because she's reading every single document. She's giving you a great breakdown. This young lady is amazing. So I want everybody to please go and subscribe to Kathy from the IndieZoNe, because she's amazing. Great content creator. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the IndieZoNe. My name is Kathy. We are continuing to provide opinions and discuss various documents that were released July 23rd to the public for the first time by the Moscow Police Department from their investigatory files into the crimes at 1122 King Road that occurred on November 13th, 2022. One such document, this is sequence number 92, is a narrative prepared by Captain Roger Lanier. He is now retired from the Moscow Police Department, but at the time of the investigation into the crimes, he was one of the most visible law enforcement officials from Moscow Police Department. At most of the press conferences, for example, if it wasn't Captain Lanier, it was Chief Fry who updated the press and took certain questions.
If I'm not mistaken, they both retire right now as we speak. Like, you have no idea how many officers retire right after this case. You need to understand that just in the line of duty, okay, because I do have family that are state police. I'm not going to tell you where, but I have family members that are state police. Get to imagination running around and imagine where I have family members in the state police. Just imagine. But yeah, never gonna tell me that a cop with such a great case on hand They are not going to retire until they see the conclusion of this great case. Especially if they did due diligence, no cop is going to retire until the conclusion of their biggest case. The only time, and I'm going to tell you, this is facts. And people hate when I say this, but guess what? You can't say it. I could. Because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. But ain't no cop gonna retire until the conclusion of the biggest case they have ever handled. Because they're gonna make sure they see this case all the way through to the end. And then retire if it is. But they're gonna be in charge of everything and take charge of everything all the way to the end of the conclusion of the case. That's a fact. You know what another fact is? That when officers retire before the conclusion and resolution of the biggest case they ever handle is because they fucked up. You hear me? It's because they fucked up. And it's time to retire. Fuck all this other shit. After I'm retired, I'm good. And that's a fact. No cop is going to retire until the conclusion of their biggest case. No chief of police is going to retire until the conclusion of the biggest case they ever handled. Because this Idaho 4 case, it was the biggest case that Chief Fry ever handled in his life. That's another fact. So how the heck we're going to have these many retired captains? Retired captains from Moscow PD. Way before the conclusion of their biggest case ever. I know the answer. Do you? Let's continue. Big shout out to Kathy from the IndieZoNe.
This document is dated January 4th, 2023. It documents, however, events that occurred on December 30th, 2022. This, you will recall, is the date of Mr. Kohberger's arrest. He was arrested the early morning hours of December 30th, 2022 in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. Meantime, in Idaho, on December 30th, 2022, at approximately 8:45 hours, disaster services responded to 1122 King Road to begin cleaning the residents of biohazards and other chemicals used during the crime scene processing. This was a prearranged response. As
Do y'all want to know the real meaning of that? Do y'all want to know the real meaning of that? Because I just hope that y'all pretty. I just hope that y'all pretty smart. You know what's the answer of that? We have our posse. Make sure y'all clean that house real good. Make sure that you tamper with the crime scene as much as you can. I need you. Now we got the posse. I need you to get in there and scrub everything down. I need you to get rid of whatever evidence it could be taken out of the house. You know who's giving the orders for all this shit? Do you know who's giving the orders for all this shit? It's not even the prosecution. It's Scott Green. Because that house belonged to him at that time. At that time, the house was already given to the University of Idaho. So Scott Green sent the cleaning team right after he know that Kohberger is arrested. So now you're going to tell me Scott Green, because he's the only person that could order that, because the house belongs to him now, belongs to the University of Idaho. At that time of point, prosecution don't have to do a fucking thing with that house. How the fuck the prosecution allows Scott Green to send a cleaning team to the house? Right away the same day that you arrest Kohberger. Do you believe in coincidences? I don't. You're gonna send a cleaning team to the house to tamper with whatever evidence could be there left. And why I think Aunt Taylor, did he have a problem with demolishing the house? Because she already know a cleaning team went inside the house and fucked everything up. So whatever she got out the house, that's what she got. The house is done and over with. As soon as that cleaning team went in, it's done and over with. The house cannot be used to prosecute no one, because it's a cleaning team already in there tampering with everything. And if you ask me, in my personal opinion, it was a cleaning team right after their death. Because how the fuck you gonna have a clean floor that you have to spray to pass the black light, and then found a footprint right around Dylan Mortensen's room? So that means that someone cleaned the house for you to not be able to see a footprint, a bloody footprint, but you get to see it with black light. That equals as someone cleaned that apartment, and is the reason why it was 7 to 8 hours to call 911. You don't get it yet? You don't get it yet? I think y'all been blinded. That's what I think. Y'all been blinded by fandom. Y'all sit there to be fans of content creators that don't give you a fully breakdown of different possibilities of reality. It's content creators in true crime out here that is not convenient for them, for you to open your eyes. Because if you open your eyes, you will unsubscribe for them. So they try to keep you with the fandom. Oh, they my fans. And you know what I mean? They're going to believe anything that I say. So I just going to. Meanwhile, a guy like me know that you as a content creator, you're not just lying, but you purposely trying to blind and distract the people from the reality. It's people like me out here that don't give no fucks about whatever the fuck you talking about in your channel. Because I got my own. And I could sit here and talk to whoever comes here to this channel and talk about the Idaho 4 the right way. Because meanwhile, y'all don't believe, no, oh, it's conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories. You know that conspiracy is a real charge? Conspiracy to commit a crime is a real charge. So when we over here talking about people conspiring to cover a crime, it means that other red flags are there. Because they know that it's a lot of dumb people in the United States of America. They know. I know. There is a lot of dumb people, dumb, stupid, slow people in the United States of America. We know that for a fact. And it's the majority. The problem is that it's the majority. It's more dumb people and stupid people in the United States than smart people. And you know who the smart people? The people that got this. And whoever don't got this and is smart, because they have money before and they end up reaching those levels at one point in life, and all the secrets will reveal to that person because that person was rich and working for them. I really don't have to say much, but it's something that y'all know at this day today. The government is not telling you everything. You already know this. What is not convenient for the government, they're not going to share with you. Guess what? You have to pick up the pieces and reading between the lines yourself if you want to survive. Survive what, Jrod? Survive what? Survive the lies that they give you. Listen, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night, even though I don't sleep at night, but I wouldn't be able to sleep whenever I could, being just like you. I wouldn't. Listen, I love myself. I love to be myself. You know why? Because he's not one motherfucker out here that could play me out. That's a fact.
Members of disaster response were setting up their tents and barriers. I received a call from Latah County prosecutor Bill Thompson. Mr. Thompson advised me that a judge's order had just been issued requesting all mitigation and cleanup to be halted immediately. At that point, I instructed the disaster services crew members to.
Didn't I tell you who ordered the cleaning of the house? Scott Green. Yeah. He ordered the cleaning of the house right after y'all got Kohberger. What is there to hide? You do anything for the vandals, huh? It don't matter if the vandals are some pieces of shit killers. You will die for those vandals, do you? Huh? Bill Thompson told you to stop, but the team, it was already on site, and God knows what they already cleaned by the time they were told to stop. The house, it was already fucked. I don't know how can y'all live with yourselves, because I couldn't. I'm glad that I'm not you.
Stop. I
Stop.
confirmed that the door to the residence had not been opened and no one had entered the residence yet. I checked
Lie.
the evidence.
I'm not saying that Kathy's lying, because Kathy just reading the paperwork. I'm not saying Kathy's lying because she's not lying. But they lying. Because we saw on TV the cleaning crew with the carpet and going in and out of the house. They were already inside of the house by the time they got told stop. So by common sense, it tells you they already started some work. But you're gonna put in paperwork. You're gonna put in paperwork that the cleaning crew never got in there when we saw through the news media outlets the cleaning crew in and out that house. Is you fucking serious? Big shout out to Kathy and the IndieZoNe, because she's amazing putting this work out here for you. But yeah, I need to understand that they lied to you even on paperwork. Ain't that shit crazy? We saw through News Nation the cleaning crew already inside the house. But on paperwork, you're gonna say that they never went inside the house? Is you serious? This is a motherfucking appeal. This is a free car out of prison. I don't know who you're talking to. And this is just like one or two mistakes and errors that they got on the paperwork and lies that they got on the paperwork. Because the cleaning crew was already inside of the 1122 Queens Road by the time they were told to stop. It took them a very long time to get out of there, because they have to pick up everything they had already inside the house. Is y'all crazy?
Tape on the door to ensure the seal had not been broken.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a dead ass lie. Because we saw the cleaning crew going inside, in and out of that house. We saw the cleaning crew going in and out of that house. How the seal is not broken? They were going through the front door. How you gonna put in the paperwork to look good that the seal was not broken when the cleaning crew was already in there? Are you fucking serious? This is Kohberger walking out the back door.
I stood by while all of the equipment was loaded back into the response trailer and the entire team left the area. I returned the scene back over to the Northern States Security Guard and replaced the barricade tape across the parking area entrance. I left the scene at that time. There's no time here, ladies and gentlemen, that stated how long this all took from the point that Captain Lanier received the contact from Mr. Thompson. If you would like to,
you know why is no time, approximated time of what all that took place? Because again, we watching News Nation live filming the cleaning crew going in and out the house, and how the fuck in a police report a cop is gonna lie saying that the seal was never broken? Is you fucking serious? We watch News Nation filming like for hours. The cleaning crew was there for hours. And you're gonna tell me that seal from the front door would not crack open? When we were seeing, yeah, they got a carpet. They got a carpet because whatever, somehow they don't want us to see if they taking something in and out of the house. Huh? How shady this shit is that the cleaning crew had to put a carpet so no one see them going in and out the house. But a cop is gonna lie on a report saying that the seal of the front door was not broken when we saw with our own eyes through News Nation that for hours the cleaning crew was going in and out the house. How in the heck a cop is gonna lie on the oath when the proof News Nation have it? We watched it for hours, the cleaning crew going in and out of the house. Big shout out to Max. Let's see what Max got to say here. Why no inside photos from Moscow? Yeah, that's very telling right there. Again, think about it. Think about it though. Brett Payne got there by 4 p.m., right? That's what he says in the report. You're not gonna tell me. And again, it got confirmed. It got confirmed on the documents that the state troopers detective were already on the scene doing their work. How come if the state troopers are already taking pictures and assessing the whole crime scene and handling their business, how the fuck they end up giving this case to Moscow PD? The detective of Moscow PD got there late. Someone that don't have no experience, and you have high-ranked detective on scene already doing their work. How the fuck you gonna give this case to Brett Payne? No, how you gonna give this case to Moscow PD? Even worse, because they are the bottom of the barrel in law enforcement. Let's see what else Max got here. The script writer was an idiot. Let's give a round of applause to Max. Let's give him a round of applause. And I think the script writer, you know who it is, though. The script writer was an idiot. They forgot to write the corner to remove the fake victims. He said it. I said it on that YT interview. On April 13, I was interviewed and I said 100% chance to no trial. I totally agree with you with that, though. I totally agree with you on that. Big shout outs to Max. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Let's continue.
Review this document. It's document 92 in the sequence. Go to the City of Moscow website and go to the section that's allocated for the paperwork dealing with the Idaho versus Kohberger investigation. If you have any comments or any questions, please.
Big shout out to Kathy. She's amazing. Please make sure everyone go and subscribe to her on the top of the chat. I have a ping on top of the chat. Please make sure everyone go and subscribe to Kathy from the IndieZoNe. She's having great content, great conversations. Please make sure everyone go and show love. Let them know that you're coming from Jrod On Point channel. It will be very appreciated to help out another great content creator. She's amazing. She has come and leave comments. I love his support. So we appreciate Kathy to 100%. We will subscribe to Kathy when Kathy have 400 subscribers, and we are so happy to see Kathy in 2.6. She overpassed me already. She was here the other days, and I'm so happy and so glad. Listen, y'all have no idea how happy I am to see a fellow content creator get into notoriety and get to a good level in the true crime niche, putting great content out. Big shout out to Kathy from the IndieZoNe. Please make sure everybody go and subscribe to her. Let's continue.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the IndieZoNe podcast.
Before we continue, let's see what Max got here. Big shout out to Max. They forgot to write the script. The victims were tied up. If this case was real, BK will tie up the victims. And you know what's crazy though? It seemed that there was no sign of that though. You know what I mean? Like they tried to infer and say that Kaylee was like somehow like gag or something, and that's what they try to say, you know, and her face all mutilized, and you know, it was very, very interesting how Olivia Goncalves in the sentencing, she spoke about a second weapon. Then we told y'all here in Jrod on Point long time ago. The design of multiple weapons and multiple assailants were all there. And Olivia Goncalves comes out of nowhere. Where is the second weapon that you use? Does Olivia Goncalves know what I say on that video the Moscow PD told me to put down, to take down, you know, on benefit of father collaboration, you know, because it was a little tough. I say a lot of things that were on point about Olivia Goncalves. It was a lot of things that I said that were very, very on point. They were so on point that I got the call. I got the call. Listen, it's on record. Does Olivia Goncalves knew more than what she says she knows? If you ask me in my personal opinion, yes, Olivia Goncalves knew more than what she says she knows. And I always remember that day in that interview when she said that she is 1000% sure that Jack Decor didn't have nothing to do with this case. And she was the same person that in the very beginning of this case, everyone from Moscow, Idaho, were telling Moscow PD, including myself, who was the killers. Because since day one, I hope y'all know, since day one, it was people reaching out to me from Idaho. They were like, Jrod, the ex-boyfriend did it. The ex-boyfriend and his friends did it. And I'm over here like, nah, you got to tell me a little bit more. You got to tell me a little bit more. I don't know what you're talking. Like, you're not playing stupid. Now you need to tell me more. Now you have to convince me for me to even believe what you're saying. Again, remember, I got trust issues. I don't trust no one. I trust my wife and my kids, and that's about it. Period. I trust my wife and kids. That's it. I outside of that, listen, I don't trust you. I don't know you. I can't trust you if I don't know you. Let's see what Max got here. Every real case I research where is a killer, knife, to 8 victims. They're always tied up, and I did my homework. Big shout out to Max. Big shout out to Max. Thank you for your commentary. Thank you for being here. Very so much appreciated. Listen, feel free to download whatever on the chat that you want to talk about. We here to listening to you. So you know what I'm saying? Everybody else, 26 people watching. Anybody want to come to the chat? You have to subscribe, wait for 24 hours so you can come and have conversations with us, because I really want people that want to be here for what we do here in this channel. I don't want people to come here, wait for 5 minutes, subscribe, and then unsubscribe as soon as the show is over. I don't work like that. So I really want subscribers that want to be here. So if you want to talk to us in the chat, please make sure you subscribe. Wait with 24 hours. And if you can't talk to me today, you'll be able to talk to me on the next live stream. And we'll be able to have great conversations. Big shout out to the people that is watching right now. Very so much appreciated. We are listening to Kathy from the IndieZoNe. Big shout out to Kathy from the IndieZoNe. Please make sure to subscribe to Kathy from the IndieZoNe. She's her channel is being on top of the chat. Please make sure y'all go and show love to Kathy from the IndieZoNe. Big shout out to Kathy. Very so much appreciated. Let's go.
My name is Kathy. It is the afternoon of the 29th of July. It's almost a week since the 23rd of July, the morning sentencing proceeding that went a lot quicker, in my opinion, than I thought it would. And at that time, Mr. Kohberger was sentenced to the maximum that the court could sentence him to under the plea agreement. July 2nd, 2025, it was announced in open court that Mr. Kohberger was changing his plea from not guilty to guilty. There is a notification on the Ada County webpage, adacounty.id.gov, State versus Bryan C. Kohberger, that a request for sealed court documents. The court is in process of reviewing sealed orders and documents, and that all unsealed documents will be placed on the Cases of Interest webpage. If you go to the Cases of Interest webpage as of today, there is nothing new to report. As a matter of fact, the last item that's listed here, motion to extend no contact orders for an additional 99 years, filed July 18th, 2025 by the state of Idaho, is, according to this Idaho Cases of Judicial Interest webpage that you've been going to review the public records in this case, there's a designation, red new.
Okay, it's really not much there. It's really not much there though. But we're gonna keep looking for that good content. It's crazy to see that it was an order to not no contact through all that covers all family members from the victims, right? And it was weird to see the aunt of Maddie Morgan telling Bryan Kohberger, listen, you got my phone number. What? Call me. I'll talk to you. If you have anything to say about, I'll listen to you. I might have the answers that you're looking for. So if it's a restriction order against Bryan Kohberger, and it covers all the family members for the victims, how in the heck Maddie Morgan aunt is gonna be like, yeah, I talked to you, I forgive you? I mean, it's okay to forgive, but having the gesture for him to call her to talk, that's for me a little too much, especially having that protection order that would violate him. You know what I mean? If he ever try to have a contact with that lady, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, the whole sentencing stuff was crazy. All right, let's see what we got here, because we got a lot of discrepancies. We got a lot of discrepancies on the time of arrival of the girls to 1122 Queens Road. Because remember, Dylan Mortensen said that they all, Ethan, Santa, Kaylee, and Maddie, were at the house on 145. It's a lot of discrepancies with that. Because we know for a fact they left the grub truck at by 158. For a fact. They got on the private driver car and they left. 158. So how? That's another court error. That's another court error, investigative error. How you gonna have a stipulation, a testimony on paperwork that it has the victims getting there at 145 when none of them were there? For a fact, they were not in the house. And then the story about, oh yeah, they were talking about leaving to the grub truck and da-di-da-di-da-di-da. You idiots. By the time they would have gone to the grub truck would be closed already, because it closed at 2:30. They left at 1:58. If they got at the house, they got at the house like around 2:05. Get to the house, go upstairs, have this conversation. By the time you come downstairs and try to drive back to the grub truck, it would be closed already. God damn it! They close at 2:30. What? What? But they put that narrative out. They put that narrative out because they making believe and forcing the narrative of the victims getting there at 1:45, which would have given time to go upstairs to the third floor, have a conversation to probably go back out to the grub truck. That don't make no fucking sense. Kaylee and Maddie left the grub truck for a fact at 1:58. We timed the whole footage here. Since the time the grub truck operators, the cooks, set the time, soon as they set the time on footage, oh, it's 10 something. I was like, clack, time running. Soon as they set on video the time that it was, I started clicking the time. So by the time Kaylee and Maddie left the grub truck, it was 1:58 a.m. By the time they would have got to the house, would have be 2:10, 2:05 if they speedy. Because the grub truck and the house is not that far. So that means if they get to 1122 Queens Road, let's say 2:05. By the time they get out, they go upstairs, take the dog out to pee, take Murphy out to pee, and they go back upstairs to then have a conversation. The grub truck is already closed. And you expect me as a grown-ass man, a 48-year-old, in 2 years, I'll be 50. And you expect a grown-ass man like me to have, listen, I have lived a lot. I've been broke and I've been rich. I have seen it all. I think I have done it all too. Everything good. Because I'm a good guy. But I think I have done it all. Like what guys dream of, that they see in the movies, that, you know what I'm saying, that dude from the street, the hustler leaving, you know what I'm saying, the yacht, the mansion, all these other shit, you know, the doctor friends, the judge's friends, the lawyer friends, and all these other shit. Yeah. Like that. That was me one time. I have lived long, and ain't not one motherfucker in this earth gonna tell me that this Idaho full story was not fabricated. And I'm only going by the same things that they presented to the people in documents. That's my assessment. That's my opinion. That's my take. That's my understanding. Did the people be investigating Moscow PD? It was all a facade. It was all a facade and make believe to people. Oh, we're gonna tell them this and this. This is why it took so. Listen, this is why it took so long for even a press release. For Chief Fry to come out and talk to the people about what happened inside of the house, it took 4 days. You know why? Because they trying to put this shit together to make you believe what the fuck they want you to tell, that they want to tell you. And it don't make sense. Like, this is bad lawyers. Bad liars. Not just bad liars, but those bad lies got taken to court, and then due to the court is in bed with the prosecution and the intentions of the University of Idaho, because every single motherfucker that handled this case comes out of the University of Idaho fraternities and sororities. They got their job. They got everyone that handled this case, from defense and prosecution and the court. Every single motherfucker came from the University of Idaho. From their fraternities, their sororities, their Greek life community. This is the people in charge of the Idaho 4 Bryan Kohberger case. And you believe in anything they tell you just because the court is pushing the same narrative the prosecution is pushing. Why do you think Bryan Kohberger just plead out? He was like, you know what? Okay, my lawyer is telling me that, listen, there's no way out. Listen, the court is behind this, and we fucked. It don't matter. It don't matter how they are going to paint it. It's a 50-50 chance. It's a 50-50 chance, Bryan Kohberger. I could hear Ann Taylor telling Bryan Kohberger. It's 50-50 chance that if we go to trial, okay, they might find you guilty, or we might get a dismissal of this case, but it's a 50-50 chance. Are you willing to take that 50-50 chance? Cool. If you're not willing to take the 50-50 chance of going to trial, this is the other avenue that we could explore, but I can't give you no guarantees. But it's an avenue that we have everything we need to appeal a deal, and you have better chances to come out the gate. But you have to tell them what they want to hear. You have to take it to the chin if you want to get out. So, are you willing to take a 50-50 chance to go to trial? Might get dismissed. They might find you guilty. Because then now your future is on the hands of the jury. And it's a 50-50 chance that it's going to be people in that jury that want to see you cooked. But if we're lucky, it's going to be enough people in that jury that he will find you innocent. But it's a 50-50 chance, Bryan. What you want to do? Do you want to take the chance to be found guilty? Or you want to take the chance, offer a deal to the prosecution? I know they will take it. Because if you ask me, Ann Taylor knew they're offering a deal to the prosecution due to their behavior in court. She knew that they don't have a case. I knew that they didn't have a case. But they would have put every hurdle there to make sure the defense team goes through a very bad time if they want to win. So if you ask me, Bryan Kohberger offering a deal to the prosecution, does that not tell you? Does that not tells you that the prosecution didn't have nothing? Because is the defendant Bryan Kohberger offering a deal to the prosecution that the prosecution took? That only happened when the prosecution knows that they don't have a case. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's no way in hell that Bryan Kohberger is guilty, like that he did this shit, and the prosecution would have took that deal. Because guess what? If the prosecution really had anything to cook this man, guess what? They wouldn't have a problem to shoot this man in the head. That's the American way, right? Live by the sword, die by the sword. No pun intended. The prosecution will have a problem denying the deal and be like, nah, fuck you. We're going to cook you. We know you did this shit. Now you offering a deal. Now we know 2-3 times more that you did this shit. And no, we don't take that deal. We are going to cook you in court. That's what Bill Thompson would have done if he had a case. The judge know that Bill Thompson don't have a case to a point that he accept the deal. Because he know that it's the only way the state would look good while looking stupid to people that really know what's going on, like me. I don't get how y'all don't see it. Let's continue. Let's watch a little bit more. I think it'll be the last video that we're gonna share from Kathy from the IndieZoNe. We want to make sure that y'all please go and subscribe to Kathy from the IndieZoNe. Great content creator, great people, good people. You could tell with the poise and the way someone performed the content. You could tell a lot about themselves. So big shout out to Kathy from the IndieZoNe. We're gonna listen to the very last video of tonight. Let's see what it says here. MPD interview with woman claims she was with Madison and Kaylee at the corner club. Ooh. And it was someone else that was saying that Kaylee and Maddie was at the corner club like around 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that. It's like, now what are you talking about, bro? They were at the grub truck, like on leaves from the grub truck. They went back to the corner club. Is the only way. Is the only way. But let's listen to Kathy on the IndieZoNe, and a big shout out to everyone that is watching. Thank you so much for being here. It's Jrod on Point. You are watching Jrod on Point. Commercials. I hate commercials. Big shout out to Kathy. She have some content she have some content on members only, which I'm very curious about it. But sorry, Kathy, sorry. I haven't got my membership. Big shout outs to you. Get your membership from Kathy and enjoy that great content that she has. Big shout outs to Kathy.
Welcome back to the IndieZoNe. My name is Kathy. We have been reviewing documents that were produced on July 23rd, 2025 by the city of Moscow via their website. These are hundreds of pages of documents never before released to the public concerning the Moscow Police Department's investigation into the crimes at 1122 King Road. One such document, which is marked as sequence number 16, is prepared by Sergeant John Lawrence. It is dated November 15th, 2022. And it indicates here that Sergeant Lawrence, upon his...
Let me see here real quick. Amplify this a little bit so y'all can see better. Let me fix this real quick. Let's continue. Big shout out to everyone who's watching. It's Jrod on Point.
His arrival at work on November 15th, 2022, noted that he had several voicemails on his desk phone, began by reviewing them. Most of them were tips on the investigation. Many of the tips were about the live feed from the grub truck. Throughout the day, I fielded several calls from people with possible information they believed may be of importance to the investigation. It states further here, I received a call from A.M., name redacted, told me she was at the corner club with two of the victims, Madison and Kaylee, the night prior to the crimes. She told me there was a college-aged male known by Madison. A told me the male was wearing a black and white flannel shirt with a black shirt underneath that had writing in white letters that said antisocial. A told me the college-aged male, who has been identified as, and it appears this is OB or GB, the name is redacted, was acting creepy. She said he was not engaging people in conversation and that he was just staring at the girls in the group she was with. A told me B had been grabbing the girls physically and being handsy in what appears, ladies and gentlemen, to be highly inappropriate manner, in my opinion, in reading this statement here. A said she confronted B and told him to stop touching girls inappropriately, or she would have him kicked out of the bar. At one point, Madison introduced her.
So you're gonna tell me that before the victims died, it was an issue with a student, male student, that it was touchy feely and grabby. Do you see what I'm trying to tell you? Do you see what I'm trying to tell you? There is many, many, many motives in this case. They doesn't have nothing to do with Bryan Kohberger at all. Let's continue.
A to B and told her she knew him. A said she let her guard down a little when it came to B and was later told by Madison that she only knew B through class and a group project in which they had worked on together. A said a short time later, B was kicked out of the bar. A short time later, I took a call from DJ. Jay told me he works at the redacted name here. Jay said he has a regular customer by the name of GP who comes in almost every day. Jay said P makes everyone feel insecure because of the way he acts and the dark things he says. Jay told me P lives in the area of the crimes. I looked up P, names, number redacted, in Spillman, and it shows an address on Conestoga. P has had numerous involvements with MPD over the last 2 decades, some of which relate to possible mental health issues. If you would like to review this document, please go to the City of Moscow's website, go to the section that indicates the records for the Kohberger investigation are located, and you can look up document 16 and read it for yourself.
I think that's the perfect video to close the live stream. Is the perfect video to close the live stream, like for real, for real. Because that video by itself, it shows an individual which the girls was having problems with before their death. And he was being creepy, and he also got kicked out of the bar the same morning they died. Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, is many others assailants, suspects, people with motive to kill these girls. Students of the University of Idaho with issues, with mental issues, unexplored mental issues that they dealing with. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jrod on Point. The on point on my name is not there for the for decoration. I'm gonna tell you right now. My name is Jrod on Point because I've been very on point in my life. And in this case, is many other people that will have a motive to kill these young adults way before Bryan Kohberger that Bill Thompson admits that he can prove that Bryan Kohberger entered that residence. You're gonna tell me Bill Thompson is gonna tell you that he can prove that Bryan Kohberger did it in court after the deal? After the deal, he'd have the guilty conscience to say that. That even though we can't prove that he was at the location, that was his own words. But we just heard a video from Kathy, IndieZoNe. Big shout out to Kathy. Very so much appreciate everything that she does for the true crime community. But we have a video from Kathy where Kathy pinpoint an issue the same night the girls died. We a mental student. They like to get touchy and feely. A creep. I think that I know of, creeps are very capable to kill. We have ex-boyfriends, boyfriends, creeps, all students of the University of Idaho. They will have way more motive to kill the victims than a Bryan Kohberger. If you disagree or agree, comment down below. Big shout out to everyone that was watching. Big shout out to Kat, the IndieZoNe. We appreciate her very, very much. Please make sure everyone go and subscribe to Kathy from the IndieZoNe. We got 34 votes. 85 people say that yes, they are subscribed to Jrod on Point. 15 people that came and watched the live stream said that they are not subscribed to Jrod on Point. So it shows that the majority of people that comes and watches are subscribed. So I appreciate that. Even though if y'all don't come to the chat, I know y'all sit there and enjoy the conversation and enjoy my presentation, and I appreciate all of y'all. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate for y'all being here, spending a little bit of time with me, the host of the mode, the team to the tango, the yin to the Django, Jrod on Point. I'm very appreciated to be here today with y'all. If y'all find any value on the content that I offer here on my channel, please make sure show a little bit of love on the cash out, the On Point family. I'm demonetized. Your boy Jrod on Point, not getting every check, not getting a check every month no more from YouTube. That's my fault. That's my fault. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Listen, I already got it all fixed up. It's okay. I'll be back. But big shout out to everyone that was here. Just show me some love in the cash. I'll be very appreciated. Please make sure to click like, subscribe, and share the content. Your boy Jrod on Point. Y'all know me. I cannot live without telling you. Believe in yourself because I believe in you. If I did it, you could do it too. I ain't nothing special. I believe that you're going to take the best decisions in your life for yourself and for everyone around you. Love yourself and take care of yourself so you'll be able to love and take care of others. As always, your favorite brother, your mother's favorite son, the Black Sheep. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for everyone that was watching. And as always, I'm going to leave you with your favorite song, my favorite song. You're so sexy. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out to everyone that was watching. I'm going to see ya tomorrow. I think, yeah, tomorrow midnight. We're going to be talking about Adam 22 and No Jumper. Let's go.